So we see in Matthew chapter 18, one day, Jesus having a conversation with his disciples. And I want to read it to you. Matthew 18, starting in verse 1. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus saying, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" And calling to him a child, he put him in the midst of them and said, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." So I want to talk to you for a few minutes from the idea of be a kid again. When I was growing up, Toys R Us was the lick. And they had a slogan, I don't want to grow up, because maybe if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys, oh boy. Toys R Us was the spot, because when you went there, it was a place that everything there was geared towards children. Unfortunately, the world requires that we grow up. Fortunately and unfortunately, because in a lot of ways, we need to grow up. In all of the physical ways, we need to grow up. As we mature physically, we need to mature mentally, emotionally, and in all the corresponding ways. But spiritually, Jesus says, you who are fully grown got to become like children. So what is it about children that qualifies you to enter the kingdom of heaven? Because if it was true for that group of men and women, it was true for us today. So here are 5 things. Number 1, kids have faith. My kids believe that I will do exactly what I said I'll do. And when I fail to do so and their disappointment, you want to talk about a hot knife that sticks you in the side. When I know that I have disappointed my children because I have failed to do what I said I would do or what I knew they needed done, it's a hard thing because they have faith. Children trust the adults around them. Now, let me put a pencil on the side margin of the message. Stop forcing your children to engage with people that they don't naturally want to engage with. Because children are good perceptors of energy and vibration. And sometimes there are people that you like, that you have let traipse all through the circles of your life. And then when you introduce them to your children, they come to them like, "Hey, give me a hug." And the kids are looking like, "No." And go and give Mrs. So-and-so a hug. Go and give old girl a hug. No, we got to stop doing that. We got to stop forcing because sometimes they're not shy, they're discerning. And just because you let people frolic all in your garden, that doesn't mean your kids should be allowed to be victimized the same way. All right, so that's side margin. But kids have faith. Kids tend to trust that the adults around them will do what they said, and that they will take care of them. If I tell my girls, "Daddy's going to pick you up," then you're going to need an act of God, not even an act of Congress, to convince them that Daddy's not picking them up. Jesus says you got to be like a child. You got to have that same kind of childlike faith that your Father in heaven will do exactly what he said. That he will meet your needs, that he will supply all of your needs, that he will be there with, he will not leave you nor forsake you. He will send a comforter who's with you on the inside. God sent himself to live inside of you. Your Father doesn't make bogus promises. And while your earthly father may have broken every promise he ever made you, your spiritual, your heavenly Father will not. So kids have faith. Kids also have fellowship. My daughter goes to daycare and she will be beefing with the little girl and come home and tell me that this little girl has been mean to her and she's not her friend. And I say, "Okay, so what happened after lunch?" I went outside and played. Because they value fellowship. They don't hold grudges. We teach our children to hold grudges. We teach our children to be stank nasty. We teach our children to be mean. They are not by default that way. They value the fellowship. They value friendship. And they think everybody is their best friend today. And tomorrow they got a whole new set of best friends. They don't let things fester and build up in them. And in some ways, we need to be more like children. Now, we got to be careful calling everybody friends, because you have far fewer friends than you think. You know a lot of people, but all them people ain't your friend. But we have to foster fellowship. Kids like fun. Who told you that loving God and serving God and being a child of God and being a disciple of Christ couldn't be fun? Bruh, I'm trying to tell you, sis, I'm trying to tell you, they lied to you. Now, fun doesn't mean you get to do everything you want. That's not fun. That's low-key abuse. I say it all the time. Love without boundaries or limits is abuse. If they tell you they love you and there ain't no boundaries, they're abusing you, because they're not preparing you for the way the world actually is, and you're getting a false sense of reality. But being a child of God is fun. I get to do fun stuff. There's some stuff that I don't get to do, and there's some stuff that I used to want to do that I don't want to do no more. And not just because I'm old. Because I'm older, but I ain't too old to do the stuff I used to do. But I have matured mentally, spiritually, emotionally. But kids like to have fun. It's part of why they like fellowship. They want to be with other people who want to do the things they want to do. I look at I dropped my daughter off today, and she was going down the stairs into daycare, and when they saw her, the scream that them kids scrumped at just the sight of her. And I'm saying it's wild how little girls will scream like that when their friends walk in. And this world conditions grown women to fight with each other and compete with each other and compare. We gotta normalize being fun. And it's hard to have fun if you ain't fun. If you miserable, you ain't a lot of fun. Don't think people want to be around you. If you that little dude Schlep Rock, remember Schlep Rock? He always had the cloud over his head. If you that guy, don't be mad when people don't want you around. So kids have faith. Kids have fellowship. They have fun. Kids are in tune with their feelings. When they don't like something, they tell you they don't like it. So now, with my children, I need them to eat something. Hey, I need you to eat your broccoli. No, thank you. Don't be politely disrespectful. I need you to eat your broccoli. No, thank you. Hey, but I need you to eat your broccoli because it has vitamins and minerals. It has some things you need. No, thank you. They know what they don't want and they don't like, and they articulate that. But as we grow older, we start playing these games, and we start manipulating people, and we're always trying to work an angle, and we always got an agenda, and we need to be present to our feelings. If you are happy, say you're happy. If you are sad, say you're sad. If you don't know how you feel, say you don't know how you feel. Stop requiring that people guess. There's far fewer Charles Xaviers out here in the world than you think. If you don't know who Charles Xavier is, he's the leader of the X-Men. He's a telepath. Arguably the most powerful telepath in the world. He reads your thoughts. He's not real. He's a little character. He in comic books. He's not real. We can't read all of that. Just tell us. Just tell us. Be more like children. Now, children also like food. And when I say that, they really want to have their needs met. Because it says you got to be more like children. Children depend on the people that they trust to provide their needs. But kids like to eat. Healthy kids like to eat. They don't always like to eat broccoli, apparently, but they like to eat. They want to be fed. Because when they're fed, they're warm and secure and safe. All right, so you know it's time for hermeneutical transfer. Spiritually, when we are fed the scriptures, when we are fed the words of God, we feel warm and safe and secure. And sometimes when my daughter's cranky, the toddler, when she's cranky and she's crying and she's just miserable and she's clingy and all that, a lot of times she's just hungry or thirsty. Many of us, when you're cranky and ornery and crying and you can't get you're just hungry or thirsty. But not for food, not for Wendy's, not for Chipotle, not for Chick-fil-A, but for this word, that living water that Jesus promised. That's what you're hungry for. You just don't know it. And then you need to go take a nap. Oh, God. The glory of naps. Naps are a whole ministry unto themselves. Listen, y'all, if we would just sit down somewhere, if we would just rest for a minute, be fed, go sit yourself down, chill out for a second, we could mitigate a lot of what we're feeling. Family, friends, I'm encouraging you, be a kid again in Christ. Now, the dichotomy is you can't stay a child. He says you got to be a child to get into the kingdom. But then once you get into the kingdom, you got to grow up. He said, whoever humbles themselves like these children will be greatest in the kingdom. See, the greatest in the kingdom ain't about being great. It's not about the title. It's not about how much power you got. It's not about your influence. It's not being an influence, your follower. It's not about any of that. Who can you love and who can you serve? The measure of your life will be who did you love and who did you serve? Many of us need to grow down because we too grown up. My mama used to say, now you're out there being mannish and you're smelling yourself. Many of us, spiritually, we out here being mannish or womanish and we smelling ourselves. Grow down. Become a kid. Get into the kingdom. Get fed this word. Have faith. Have fellowship. Have fun. Be in tune with your feelings. Get this food. Be a kid again so he can grow you all the way up. I promise you, life will be a whole lot better. And then you will say, I don't want to grow up. Because if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys. Oh boy.